Hey guys, SCS Pickleball here, and welcome to Paddle Meta-Analysis episode number 6. So without further ado, let's dig straight into it. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is the 11six24 power paddles. I have some updates on these. In my last episode, I watched it back. I was being a little harsh on these. At the end of the day, when I'm comparing a lot of these different Gen 3 paddles, it's small nuances that are really making the difference between these, right? Whether they're going to be better for you or better for somebody else, worse for you or worse for somebody else, right? A lot of these Gen 3 paddles are very top tier in a lot of their metrics, okay? So it's the smaller nuances that are really going to set them apart. When it comes to the 11six24 power paddles, when I'm talking about these pre-production models, right, the ones that were sent to us originally before we got the actual production models, whatever you want to say, okay, they only had an extra 100 to 120 RPM of spin, all right? I made that a little bit bigger of a deal the way I put it in my last video, and I do regret that. Again, just because I'm trying to be a little bit more rigid on the smaller nuances, because I want you to understand that it's just these smaller nuances that are really the difference between a lot of these Gen 3 paddles. These are all really top tier paddles at the end of the day, all right? The 11six24 power paddles, although they have 100 to 120 RPM, and I went out and averaged them out again, right? I did 20 serves with all three of the versions, 20 serves with all three of the production models. And I will say, the difference for me, as far as the feeling off the face, was the fact that the what I'm calling the pre-production models, the ones that were sent to us initially, have just a little bit more grip on the ball. That was really all I was feeling. It just felt like it was gripping the ball just a touch more, okay? Is there really that big of a difference? Not at the end of the day, okay? 100 to 120 RPM is something that I might notice because, I've been reviewing paddles for a long time. I have an extensive history in playing very high level golf, and I've always been a very feel-based player in all the sports that I've ever played, right? So, I can feel little nuances, and I think that that's what makes me a good paddle reviewer, right? But a lot of you guys are kind of running with this and thinking that it's kind of the end of the world, or these don't have nearly as much spin, or all this stuff, right? It's like, no, it's 100 to 120 RPM less, okay? I was being a little harsh because it is smaller nuances that are differentiating these paddles, but at the end of the day, these are still top tier. If I did a top 5 paddle video right now, these are going to land easily in the top 5, if not potentially in the top 3. And it's something that I'm working on hashing out right now. But I really wanted to say that because I see a lot of people in the comments thinking that it's a doomsday loss in spin. It's not. It's 100 to 120 RPM less spin. It's still top tier. I mean, these are still coming in at 2174, 2200, 2183, 2196. These are some of the numbers that I was seeing when I was averaging these things out. And it's not the end of the world. It's going to be okay. Still a great priced, very durable Gen 3 paddle, okay? These are absolutely top tier, all right? 100%. I actually spoke with the owner recently as well, and he did walk me through the entire timeline of events, so not a bait and switch. There's nothing weird going on at all. So I just wanted to touch on that because I feel really bad about being a little too harsh about these smaller nuances and putting a little bit of a negative light on these when these are still easily in my top 5. I mean, these are absolutely top tier paddles. Big fan of them. So just wanted to throw that out there. Of course, if you want to support the channel, you can always use my code. But yeah, so just wanted to touch on that because I felt kind of bad about how that was being taken and wanted to just kind of create some transparency around that. So that's enough on the 11six24 power paddles. This probably won't be the last time you see of these because, again, they are in my top 5 currently. And I do love these paddles, and I still do play with the Vapor very consistently. It's in my bag. It's in my rotation. I love these paddles. So moving on. So quick update on the Ronbus Ripple paddles. I just got off the phone the other day with the owner of Ronbus, and he was telling me that they're actually scrapping everything that they've done thus far, and they're actually working on a Ripple V2 is what they're calling it. So they will be releasing this eventually, but that's all I know as of right now. But they are, trying to hone in on some new details and some new core mechanics to really try and push the boundaries of what's allowed currently. So once they dropped that down to 0.43 for PB core, you know, obviously the Ripple wasn't passing that. And so it just caused this whole slew of events, and it was crazy. But ultimately, they are working on a V2 right now, so that is still in the pipeline, but more info to come in the future. Okay, so quick update on the Joola Pro IV paddles. These ones, I'm still doing quite a bit of testing on, all right? So I have multiple courts booked over the next couple days. I'm going to be going out with my Titan ball machine and just hitting ball after ball, hundreds and hundreds of balls with these, and analyzing them in comparison to the other Gen 3 paddles so that I can give you the best review I can possibly give. I need a little bit more time on these, so they do release tomorrow on the 4th. No codes, no discount codes are available for these. Joola doesn't really utilize discount codes until, I believe, 2 months after release, usually. Must be some sort of contractual agreement that they have with the retailers. But I need a couple extra days on these, so you'll probably see my review come out on the 6th. That's my current goal, if I can get all of my metrics and all of the information needed on these by then. But that is a quick update on the Joola Pro IVs. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into an update on the unMarked. So I will say the grit is holding up extremely well on this. It seems quite durable. I haven't had any issues with core crushing, no delamination issues, no glue moving around on the inside. It seems very, very solid. This was supposed to be released on March 2nd. It seems like USAP is moving a little slow right now. It seems like some things are a little bit backed up. So they're trying to schedule this for March 15th. If not March 15th, then March 22nd. And I'll keep you updated on everything as it all unfolds, essentially. But just wanted to give you an update there on the timeline of the unMarked. I will say as well, some things that I'm noticing after doing quite a lot more extensive play sessions with this paddle. When I first got it, I was super excited thinking that it was going to be a Paddletech clone, but being thermoformed, right? 10 millimeter cell size, thermoformed. It's kind of a recipe for a thermoformed Paddletech. But what I'm realizing is that, you know, it's not quite as hot off the face as a TKOC or TKOCX. I would put it closer to the TKOC 14.3 millimeter as far as power, but it's not up there with the firepower of Gen 3 paddles. This one's going to be a little closer to the bottom of the power spectrum, if not leaning a touch all court. But what it does have is incredible dwell time, really good spin, and just a really, really nice feeling off the face. You have a little bit of softness for some of those finesse shots, but you do have the power when you need it, given the shape and the general design of this paddle, and of course, again, top tier spin. So that's a quick update on the unMarked paddle from Mark Pickleball. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into the Spartus Ep.6 series. I've been playing with these a little bit recently. These ones come in at $79.99 right now. You can only get them on Amazon. I think they're trying to build up their Amazon presence right now, but yeah, these are pretty solid for the price. $79.99 right now. I think they go up to $94.99 when they do open them up on the website, and then you'll be able to use code STS Pickleball, I believe, for a discount there, but I'm not entirely sure, given the price, how relatively, inexpensive they are. But what I will say is these are Gen 1. So, the sweet spot is a little smaller, of course. You do have quite a bit of die off around the perimeter of the paddle. But what you do get is you get some interesting tech for the price, right? So Gen 1 being kind of the drawback, but the pros are that you get a CFC layup, so carbon fiber, fiberglass, carbon fiber, as far as the face layup goes. You do get some really nice pop off the face, which is nice. Generally, I would say these play overall more control oriented than they do all court or power. They're definitely fairly soft off the face, even though they have a 10 millimeter core cell size. They're using that block, like a black polypropylene core. But I would say overall in play, they play more control-y. They don't have a lot of power to them. But again, the pros are that you get a beautifully molded grip. I mean, this is an absolute premium grip. I wish more paddles had grips that felt like this, because this is a beautiful construction. And then with these, you also get what they're calling their failing system. So they've added a little bit of perimeter weighting on the side, which is nice. And then they've added some durability down here. So they, on the inside of the core down here, they added some added material to add to the integrity of where the face meets the handle. So you don't have any issues there, especially given that it's a Gen 1 paddle construction. Adding durability at that point is very helpful. So I would say overall, if you're looking for an inexpensive paddle, it's not a bad grab. Again, when you're comparing it to some of the other Gen 2 thermoform paddles like the Neonic Force or some of these other paddles that are really, really solid at their price range, it's still very, very solid though. I would say at $79.99, it's interesting if you're really looking for something very inexpensive, but again, it is Gen 1 and there are some sweet spot drawbacks. And it does lack quite a bit of power if you're looking for power these days. So, but overall, I would say, a solid offering and, interesting paddle if you're trying to save some money. So as far as swing weight and twist weight goes for the new Spartus Ep.6 series, the Orion comes in at 116.91 for swing weight and 6.01 for twist weight. And the Odyssey, which is the hybrid version, comes in at 111.17 for swing weight and 6.47 for twist weight. So, and I do have a link to their Amazon page down in the description down below. So if you want to check it out, you can head down there and check them out there. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into the last series of this episode, which is the Supercourt X series from Chorus Pickleball. So these come in at $108. Of course, you can save a little bit more with code SCS Pickleball, but these are fully thermoformed Gen 2 paddles with a CFC layup as far as the face layup goes. So that little bit of extra fiberglass sandwiched in between those carbon fiber layers on the face is going to yield a little bit more pop, a little bit more power. I would say these are landing in the all court category leaning power, specifically due to how much pop they have off the face. They do have quite a lot of pop off the face, but again, a great offering as far as a more budget friendly paddle goes. I have heard of some people saying that they felt the core crushing a little quickly, or that was happening. Again, I haven't personally experienced this, but I always want to share everything that I hear in the space with you because, I want to make sure that you have all the variables at your disposal to make a very informed decision on how you want to spend your money, because I just want to make sure that I respect your time and your money and everything that I share. It's a very big thing for me, but overall, that has not happened to me. And again, these are Gen 2 fully thermoform paddles with the CFC layup, great pop and power, and a pretty good feeling off the face. I wouldn't say that it's the most like plush, pleasurable feeling off the face. It's a little tinny, a little rigid, not the most pleasurable feeling off the face, but again, for the price, I think it's a pretty solid buy for the price. So this is definitely a top contender for a budget pick right now in 2025. And as far as swing weights and twist weights go, we'll jump into that. So for the elongated version, which is the Supercourt EX, comes in at a swing weight of 116.38 and a twist weight of 6.32. And then we have the hybrid version with a Supercourt HX at 117.41 for the swing weight and 6.89 for the twist weight. And then for the standard shape, the Supercourt SX, we have 110.02 for the swing weight and 7.19 for the twist weight. So yeah, so that's pretty much all I have for you on this episode. In the next episode, we're going to start touching on some of my feedback from the shoes that I've been testing out. I pretty much went broke, not really, buying every top tier shoe that I could get my hands on. I spent well over $1,000 now purchasing all these different shoes, and I have been testing them out quite a bit, and we'll jump into some initial feedback in the next meta-analysis episode before I drop my review comparing all those different shoes. So that'll be pretty fun. I do already have a pair that I am really loving. I'm just hoping that they stay pretty consistent. I'm putting a lot more wear and tear on that specific pair because I do quite like those. But yeah, it's interesting to me how different they all are, but we'll get into that in the next episode. So yeah, I hope you guys have a freaking wonderful day. Make sure to consider subscribing if you want to see more videos just like this one. You can click right here if you want to see my review for the Titan ball machine, which is the best ball machine in the space and what's really been leveling up my game like crazy last year and this year. And I hope you guys have a great day. See you in the next one. Peace.